So before we talk about this bolt lift kit, which is the best bolt lift kit on the market, I want to warn you, like any product that's successful and works really good, there's now a copycat out there, okay? And it is an inferior copy. I'm getting emails and calls from customers saying that, you know, they bought it and tried it and didn't work, or just had compatibility issues, or just didn't fit. Yeah, so be warned about the copycat. I know I've actually talked to this copycatter myself on the phone, and he doesn't even own a Savage. Okay, so yeah. Typically the gun industry is a very honorable industry and you don't see these kinds of issues, but I guess there has to be one. My advice is to look for only the kit that is made by Desh Industries, and you get it from the website. It's the lowest price because eBay is taking quite the cut these days.
Hello everybody, this is Grimstad Desh from Desh Industries. I've been bushing bolts for a long time, and bushing's a fairly specialized process that you need a lathe for. It involves making the firing pin hole smaller and also making the firing pin smaller to fit that. I've also been tuning the insides of these, making sure that the adjustments are right, and it seems to work really good. Everybody claims that they get better groups after I've worked on their bolt. And then I started experimenting with bolt lift kits, and I've actually experimented with just about every bolt lift kit out there. And I really wanted to sell these to people, like just the kit itself, without them having to ship me the bolt to have me work on it. But you know, none of the kits were universal, you know, that didn't require any work and tuning on the insides of this bolt to function properly. So this is something that I've come up with that actually doesn't require any tuning. So first we're going to decock our bolt like so, and then we're going to remove the BAS screw. And what my bolt lift comes with is a bearing and then two washers that it can run on. One of them is optional, and then you can see here it can come with either a stainless steel spacer ring or a black one, which we're going to use the black one because we got a black bolt here. So let's take this out and I'll show you kind of like how this goes together. So here's the firing pin assembly, and then we have the cocking sleeve or sear sleeve here, which basically the pin goes through this and that causes the thing to rotate and cock. Now in doing so, it rubs against the BAS and that creates an enormous amount of friction. So we put this bearing, and one of these washers actually has a groove cut it on one side, which allows it to just kind of fit in place, and actually a lot of times it'll snap in there real smart like. And then you put the bearing on top of that, and then this last one, which will be completely flat on one side, you put the groove facing the bearings. This one is optional. It depends a lot on, like, if you've got a very rough face on your BAS, you might want to use this. Or if you want just a little bit more spring tension, let's say you're hunting, this would be a suggested accessory that you would stack in there as well, like so. Alright? So we're going to put this back together. I'll show you how easy it is to install it. So put it in the bolt like so, put in the sear button, and then I push the sear button all the way back, and then take our first washer, which has the groove cut into it, and we put that in place into the cocking sleeve, and the bearing sits on top, and then we can let it drop down like so, and then we put our bolt handle on, and then next up our washer. This compensates for the space that these washers and the bearing take up, so that we're not increasing the amount of tension on the firing pin spring. Because if we increase the amount of tension in the firing pin spring, we're kind of self-defeating here, and this washer here is what makes really a lot of this all universal. So then we just tighten all back down, and this is a 1/4 inch Allen key, which you will need, and then we are ready to go. And we'll just cock this. And like I could tell just by cocking this that was a lot easier than it was before. Now if you send your bolt to me, I can do this kit without the washer, and basically I have jigs and fixtures and stuff that I can put these things into, and basically bore from the opposite side to compensate for the amount of space that these bearings take up. Alright, and tune everything else in here too, like the firing pin protrusion and the offset on the bolt stops and or the firing pin stop and so forth. So that's kind of my kit. I've got 2 for the regular Model 10, Model 12 type bolts. There is another type of Savage out there that has a cocking indicator. What there is there's something that will actually protrude out of this hole right here when it's cocked. And that one I have a separate kit for. It costs a little bit more because I basically have to soften these so that I can actually cut them with a carbide drill and open the hole so that it will fit over that little stem that's inside of here. And then I'm also working on a Savage Axis bolt lift kit.